That's right. A big thank you to Desert Financial Credit Union for sponsoring the KRIM Community Spotlight Program. Good morning, everyone. Chris Higgins in the studio. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful Monday. It's a beautiful day out there, and I hope everyone had a happy Easter and got time to spend that with family and with friends. I know we had a great Easter, so very thankful for that. Well, this morning in the studio, we have the Executive Director of the Pine Strawberry Fuel Reduction Group. That's Elsa Steffanson.
Hey,
I got it, didn't I?
you did. Well done.
I thank you. I've been practicing. I've been sitting here kind of repeating your name to myself here. And Elsa, want to welcome you aboard because you're the new Executive Director of Pine Strawberry Fuel Reduction, and a group that has been around for how long now?
14 years. Yeah, we started up in 2007,
Wow.
and recently our president, Mike Brandt, decided he was going to retire and do some traveling, and he has been, and he sends back exciting pictures to make us all very jealous. And we're most grateful for him because he had this really fantastic vision
Mm-hmm.
of what our organization could be. And as he got into fuel reduction, he realized that there are many facets to the problem. And we have conversations, and I kind of thought that if fuel reduction was going to be a Facebook status, it would be it's complicated.
It's complicated.
Right? So, I mean,
Yeah.
and that's both the bad news and the good news,
Uh-huh.
because we have to attack it from different ways. So we talk about what we can do on a large landscape scale, what we can do within the communities, and where are the gaps. Now, that's both the challenge and the really fantastic part of it, because it means there are a lot of areas for people to get involved.
Mm-hmm.
So we have volunteer roles that we need your help.
Mhm.
We really need your help. And it doesn't matter your physical ability, because I need people who can sit at a computer. I need people who can do social media. I need folks who want to go out and do trail work. I need folks that want to do events. So there are all kinds of jobs within our organization that we can use your help to meet our mission of reducing the risk of catastrophic wildfire
Mm-hmm.
in the Rim Country communities.
Yes, and I know in talking about Mike Brandt, probably a lot of people listening, remember Mike, and if you didn't know him that well, probably would remember him from coming into a business. Because he was always out in the community getting sponsors for the different events that Pine Strawberry Fuel Reduction hosts and puts on, or just bringing information about the Pine Strawberry Fuel Reduction Group, what they had going on, also the brush pit in Pine, which is a big part, or I guess one part of what you guys do.
It's one part. So we used to do the fuel route up in Pine and Strawberry, and that was a special grant program. And one of the challenges we have with these grant programs that we get with the state and federal is they are designed to do an initial clearing on a property.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Initial since Christ walked the earth.
Yeah.
Initial.
One time
Just
only.
once.
One
Just
time
once.
Only. Yep.
So when that grant ran out, we no longer had the funds to continue that program. So we cast about for other things that we could do to help the community remove this excess vegetation and figure out what we were going to do with that green waste. So the Forest Service let us use this particular little bit of property, and we created the brush pit. We've had to expand the brush pit because it is a successful program.
Oh yeah.
We have a large, about 1,500 loads in 26 weeks come into our brush pit, and that's all community.
Wow.
We do have contractors who come in. You are welcome to come in. We know it's only open on Sundays right now. I'll have more on that later.
Oh, okay.
And one of the things that we started doing is we started tracking the information on what was initial clearing and what was maintenance. And what we discovered, of those 1,500 loads that came in, only 11 were initial.
Oh.
So we take that information back to the state and back to the federal government and say, look, your grants aren't going to help because these properties that you did 10 years ago have had 3 owners since then. So we need grants for maintenance, and
Yes.
that's what we're working on now to get that money in to do those things.
Wow, and just to emphasize this, the pine brush pit, you said 1,500 loads, and only 11 said that they were in an initial cleaning of that property.
Right, and we suspect that of that 11, they were new homeowners
Yeah,
and didn't know if it had ever been cleaned before.
yes, wow.
I know, isn't that, it's kind of a shocking number.
Yeah,
And then when we go and we ask for grants and they say, oh, well, it's only initial clearing, and they keep records of what properties have been done.
yes,
Like,
yeah,
well, that's no longer effective, and 10 years later, if it hasn't been maintained, it's going to look like it did.
yeah, yeah.
Fuel reduction is not something that has a finish line where we can say, yay, we did it,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
fantastic. It's an ongoing thing. It's ongoing education, it's ongoing work, it's ongoing maintenance. A lot of it's teaching new homeowners
Mm-hmm.
who may come from urban areas, haven't lived in the mountains, don't understand the fire risks,
Yeah,
and that when they see all that overgrowth, that's not natural.
Mm-hmm.
That's a forest that's being choked by excess vegetation.
Mm. So you mentioned a little bit about the brush pit and some new developments with that, but also some new programs that you're doing.
We do.
Yeah.
So we talked to the community a lot, and I think this is important when you're trying to find the gaps in what your community needs.
Mm-hmm.
So I was out at a volunteer meeting, and there were some contractors there. And they said to me, Elsa, your brush pit is only open on Sundays. We don't want to work on Sundays. We work the rest of the week. I'm like, oh, that's a really good point. Because they are out there on the front lines of removing this excess vegetation that we're trying to get out of there. We're trying to reduce the fuel risk. We're trying to improve the watershed.
Mm-hmm.
And what they wanted was a little bit bigger than what I could do.
Uh-huh.
They want smaller brush pits all across the Rim Country.
Gotcha.
And they want it open 5 days a week.
Oh, wow.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's
Now-
a little bit of staffing.
Right? For me to open
Yeah.
the brush pit 1 day a week for a month, I have to fill 16 4-hour volunteer slots.
Mm,
That's a lot of volunteer time.
yes.
So we were kind of going around with this, and Supervisor Christensen
Uh-huh.
gave us some money.
Oh, nice.
Thank you very much, Supervisor Christensen.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to take this money and open the brush pit one afternoon a week, Thursday afternoons, starting the first Thursday in May, for the contractors.
Nice.
Yeah, we're very excited about this, and if it works, if it's successful, we will expand that program, maybe open all of Thursday.
Wow, so the first Thursday in May, May 5th, it looks like that's when the Pine Brush Pit will be open?
From 1 to 4
1 to 4.
for
All right.
contractors and residents. If you're
Yeah.
out there, you've been working, and
Yeah.
you're busy on Sunday, bring your brush on out.
Yeah, that is exciting. So you're going to, there's a trial period with this, the first Thursday of each month? You're saying first,
Every Thursday
every Thursday?
from 1 to 4,
Oh, wow, okay. Yeah,
starting the first Thursday in May.
gotcha. Wow, every Thursday.
Yeah.
That's great.
And we chose Thursdays because we thought contractors would be doing the work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Yeah.
gather it all up, and then if they needed to go back to the property they were working on Friday for final stuff. And part of the idea of this is that it costs them often around $300 to dump this at the landfill.
Gotcha.
And they charge that to the homeowner.
Mm-hmm.
So the other end of that thought is that if the contractors gave the homeowners that break of $300,
Yeah.
which is what I'm asking them to do
Yeah.
on the
yeah.
honor system, then maybe those homeowners could get more work done,
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
vegetation removed. And $300 could be a breaking point when someone gets a quote. They can't afford that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's opening it up for more homeowners to get this work done as well.
Oh, that is great. Now, there are a lot of events coming up as well that Pine Strawberry Fuel Reduction is either responsible for, or they're responsible for them, or part of them. April 23rd, and it's the Highline Trail and Interpretive Trail. Ribbon
Yes,
cutting.
so we've been working on the interpretive trail for a couple of years. It was kind of our COVID project.
Uh-huh.
We also have the Firewise garden out there that was done by Bill Hubbs, who is a fantastic local gardener.
Oh, wow.
So we're doing the ribbon cutting for that on April 23rd in conjunction with the Forest Service doing their Highline Trail grand opening.
Okay.
So the Firewise Trail will be out there. That's from noon to 2.
Mm-hmm.
So come on out and celebrate with us.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be a good time.
Oh, yeah. The Highline Trail is such a beautiful trail.
It is.
And what's nice is there are some nice loops right there, the Pine Trail head. There's a nice little loop where you can just, go out a little bit, come back. So it's not like you have to do the entire Highline Trail if you want to, enjoy some of that. And it's just so pretty up there. So pretty.
And all the trails up there are gorgeous, and we're always working on these trails because trails are part of the fuel reduction
Mm-hmm.
mission, and I often get questions on why that is.
Mm-hmm.
Because it seems like, well, you work on removing fuels, why are you building trails? Well,
Mm-hmm.
part of this is it brings industry to our forest.
Mm-hmm.
It allows the population to use the forest.
Mm-hmm.
So they have an investment in it. And the more people that use our forest, the more visibility it has on a state and federal level. That gives us more dollars to work with.
Mm-hmm.
When we get those dollars, then we can do larger projects, such as mastication projects. Last year, we did Cedar Bench, which was the area out by the brush pit. It was
Okay.
that was 1,300 acres. That we put $50,000 to.
Mm.
And these are important because they're removing that excess vegetation, which is reducing the risk of catastrophic wildfire.
Mm-hmm.
And catastrophic is a very important word in there because we do need some fire on the ground. That's Mother Nature's housekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
When it becomes catastrophic is when it takes out assets and it takes out communities and livelihoods and lives. That's what we don't want to have happen.
Yes.
So our trails gives us that visibility. It gives us money so that we can go out and do that work. When we remove that vegetation, we are also improving the watershed.
Mm-hmm.
And when I talk about improving the watershed, all of that little scrubby stuff that's out there, that overgrowth, not only is fuels that would allow a fire to get into the crown, but it sucks up all of the water resources so that our mature vegetation then gets stressed. As you know, we've had bark beetle issues in the past. That kills the trees. And then we have more dead vegetation that is flammable. So all of these things play in together. Having those trails, having people use our forest, gives us the money and the access to do the work we need to do.
Mm.
This year, we did the Hardscrabble Mesa project.
Mm-hmm.
We did that with SRP and the Forest Service. We put $30,000 into that project.
Mm.
So as you can see, we're spending quite a few dollars, and that's another thing we need help with.
Mm-hmm.
We need people to volunteer and help us do fundraisers.
Oh, there we go.
We
Yeah.
need people to help us with dollars too,
Mhm.
but really right now what I need boots on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I need helpers to get this mission done. It's an important mission. We have a huge project coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Poco Pino. This is up in the Pine Creek Canyon.
Oh, okay.
It's an area that has been designated as high risk.
Uh-huh.
It's a $6 million project.
Wow.
I know, that's a little bit of cabbage, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Is it because of the terrain?
It is.
Yeah.
It's a steep
Yeah.
terrain. They
Mhm.
can't get machinery in there. They're doing some of it as a timber sale, but they will have to helicopter
Yeah.
logs out. So it'll be fun to watch, but it's
Yeah.
expensive.
Oh, yeah.
It's really
Wow.
expensive.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it is hand thinning.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to haul everything out by
Mm.
hand. So what we're trying to raise, along with the National Forest Foundation and some other organizations, is 1.2 million as
Okay.
our community buy-in.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to get some fundraisers done
Mm.
because that's not easy to raise $1.2 million.
Yeah. And now, do you have any fundraisers coming up here or scheduled?
We do. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of different events throughout the year, and we have a new board. I may not have mentioned this yet. When the Brants retired, we decided to go from a president, vice president structure to a board of directors. So now we have, because one of the reasons we did this is I am not nearly as amazing as Mike, and I can't hold all these things in my brain. I stand on the shoulders of giants. I absolutely recognize that. So our board of directors, we have a director of trails, a director of events, a director of large projects, so on and so forth. So having this board means that we were able to add more events to our calendar. So one of the things we're doing is a 4th of July barbecue up in Strawberry. We're very excited about this. We're going to have a nice barbecue. We are looking for a local restaurant that would like to bid on it. So if you run a restaurant and you want in on all this fun, please drop us a line. We are psfuelreduction.org. Our emails are out there. It's psfuelreduction@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you.
And just to specify, also that barbecue is going to be held on July 3rd, right?
On July 3rd.
Sunday,
yes.
July 3rd, because July 4th is a Monday this year. So Sunday, July 3rd. Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun.
It is, and again, we need volunteers to help us pull it off, right? We want to have a cornhole tournament and then an environmentally correct water balloon toss. I know that sounds interesting, doesn't it? So a friend of mine crochets water balloons.
What?
So you just dunk them in water.
Oh,
It's yarn.
okay.
You dunk them in water, and you do the water balloon toss, and you don't have those little plastic pieces that birds eat and a huge mess to clean up. So that should be a lot of fun. She said she'd make them for me, and we're excited. We think the kids will enjoy them. And then you dry them out and use them again next year.
Wow, there you go. You don't have to worry about picking up all the balloons.
All the little pieces, right?
Yeah.
So it's an environmentally correct water balloon toss.
No. Oh, so that's great. So that is a fundraiser that
is a fundraiser.
Not too far away.
Yeah.
And then there's another event coming up in April, I believe, and then some in May as well.
Right. So let's go back to April a little bit. On April 25th, we have a Biochar event at the Pine Strawberry Brush Pit, and this is Chris Jones from the U of A Extension. He has developed a kiln, and this is a process for dealing with some of the green waste, and he burns it in this kiln. I don't know all of the science behind it, but I'm really fascinated to learn about it. And the flame, it creates a flame cap, he said, so it doesn't produce as much pollution from the burning of the waste as a normal burning wood,
Fire.
right?
Yeah.
Because before we would have the Forest Service burn the brush pit for us once a year. And then we started working with biomass, and they come out and they chip it.
Yes.
And then they turn that into energy, which is win-win-win for me.
Yes. Yeah.
But this is a new technology coming out that might be useful for HOAs, smaller communities, neighborhoods, because those flame curtain devices, they're pretty expensive. And I personally think they're a little dangerous, but that's my take on it. So this kiln is another option. So we're supporting Chris, and we would love to have folks come out and see what it's all about. If you're a community leader, an HOA leader, and it produces something called biochar. And this is a product that seems to have uses across several industries, and one of them is home gardeners. And we have a lot of great gardeners out here in the Rim Country. So bring your bucket, and you can take some of the biochar home and see how it works for you.
Hey, wow, that sounds really interesting.
It is. I can't wait to see this happen.
And then May 7th, there's a couple events going on May 7th.
Right. So May 7th is the Pine Trail Run.
Okay.
Which is our breeze through the trees. So it's a 5K, a 9-mile, and a 50K for the crazy people.
Yes, I know Scott was in talking about the run. A lot of great additions to the run, the 50K, but also he started making the Native American flutes. And there's other people in Pine Strawberry in the community that he said are going to be contributing items to the event. So the winners and contestants will receive different prizes. So Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun.
It is. I think it's going to be a long day for those 50K runners, though.
Yeah, well, that would be more than a day for me. Running 50K. Golly.
Do I get a week or 2 weeks on that?
I know. And then, so that's up in Pine at the Pine Trailhead, I believe is where that starts. And then in Payson, there's a Firewise event.
There is, and I'm sorry I don't have all of the details on this. Your local group is putting that together, and there's a movie at the theater, and the Firewise trailer should be out here, and all kinds of great information for the public. We have the Ready, Set, Go guides that we just redid last year, which has some fantastic information. And ready means more than just packing your bag. It means preparing your property. And this guide has all of the lists. It talks about the zones. It talks about how to create survivable space around your home. And this is pretty important because if you have this dead vegetation up against your house, it's not going to be pretty if a wildfire comes through. That's what makes it catastrophic.
Yes.
So these are the things that individual homeowners can do. We talk a lot about in fuel reduction these large projects where we do thousands of acres. And then we talk about being ready in case a wildfire comes and you have to evacuate. And we talk about all of the other fires that have happened around the country and how scary that is. You don't have to be scared, you have to be prepared.
Yeah.
Knowledge is the counterpoint to fear. And this guide has a lot of knowledge. It will show you step by step what you should have there and what you should remove. You also have in your area some Firewise assessment options. Is one of the things our group in Pine and Strawberry does. Your fire department has some Firewise assessors as well. So if you need help understanding that, there are people out there who can help you. Our website also has a large number of resources. It has some graphics for folks to refer to. So psfuelreduction.org, please visit it. It has those resources in that drop-down box. You'll find it. Firewise, all of that information is there.
And I know we'll reach out to Kevin McCulley, the Payson Fuels manager, because I'm sure he's involved in the Payson Firewise event, and he's been in before and provided information about what he's doing in Payson and the group in Payson is doing. So yeah, we'll definitely get that out to all of our listeners. Then the Fire on the Rim. That's something that is
you're
back.
jumping the calendar. I got
I'm
more
jumping.
before then, mister.
I know.
I have late May. We haven't
Late May?
actually chosen a date on it yet. We're going to have a community forum, Surviving Wildfire Real Talk.
Gotcha.
And that's some of those things that I just talked about. That's going to be at this event. But it's also about when firefighters come through, the choices they have to make.
Gotcha.
And what we, the community, we, the individual homeowners, can do to help them. Part of that is being ready, having our property prepared. Some of that discussion is about choices. If you choose to stay, what does that mean? If you choose to leave, what do you truly need? Last year during Backbone, when we were evacuated, people only took 3 days of medication. They needed 3 weeks. So that real talk is about those real choices and what they truly need should they have to be evacuated. So I'm really looking forward to that. That will be our fire department. We're hoping to get the Forest Service up there, APS, emergency management. We're looking to make it a nice forum. And this is informational, not confrontational.
Yeah.
Because I know sometimes people can get really passionate about it. But we want it to be informational. Let's learn something new.
Yeah, no, that I think is very important, especially for people that have recently moved into the area.
Right.
It's very, very important. Yeah.
And then one of the new programs we have for all of our events, we were looking for things for kids to do because we love children. At Fire on the Rim, my favorite event is the kids race. So I wanted other things for them to do, and we came up with a new program called PSFR Rocks.
Okay.
And this is where kids get to paint rocks.
Oh, nice.
So they paint the rocks for us, we put the seal on them, and then on the back we put PSFR.Rocks.
Nice,
This is the domain. We're going to go hide them out on the trails. And that's the domain you can go to register your rock.
Oh, neat. Okay.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So it's something else to do when you're out on the trails, and all the rocks will be painted by children. And children will get to see when someone finds their rock.
That is really cool. And is the website up right now?
It is not up yet.
Okay. Because I was going to it. I was like, I want to see what this looks like.
I need some rocks first.
Yeah.
And when they register their rock, they will be registered in a raffle for gift certificates or some other really cool item.
Oh, wow. That will be fun for the kids.
Yeah.
Wow. And so that will be in place and all ready to go for the Fire on the Rim mountain bike race.
It'll be ready for the barbecue. At any of our events, we should have our rock painting tent ready to go.
Nice. I know I'm on the website here on my phone, and you had mentioned volunteers. You're looking for volunteers to work at these events and to do other, provide other roles or fill other roles with the organization. And I remember seeing on here a place where you can click if you would like to volunteer. Also donate. It's very easy. You can do that on the website as well. And then the calendar. So all of these events that you've mentioned, that is on the website as well.
It is. Up in that upper right-hand corner is a little box that says Get Involved.
Oh, nice.
And that's where all of the volunteer opportunities are. We have opportunities on the trails. We have opportunities if you'd like to do administrative things. You know, sometimes people think administration is, oh my God, that's the boring stuff. But really it is the backbone of what you have to get done so that you can do all the other fun things. And I absolutely need some help doing that. I'm looking for folks to help my events director. She's got a lot on her plate. So if they can help her get vendors, get sponsors, organize sponsors. And some of that is going around to businesses. Some of that is doing the paperwork behind the scenes.
There you go. And also, if you're listening and you have a business and you would like to sponsor, there's information on the website of how you can become a sponsor, whether it's of an event or just,
or a program.
Oh, yeah. So a lot of ways that you can get involved.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, 10:30. There it is.
Wow, that happened fast.
It did, but and I tell you, a lot of great information in that 30 minutes. And again, I really encourage you, as does Elsa, to visit the Pine Strawberry Fuel Reduction website, which is psfuelreduction.org. There's many ways that you can get involved, and also just get a lot of great information regarding firewising.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much, Elsa, for coming on this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome, and thank you everyone for listening and watching on the KRIM FM Facebook page. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Time to get back to the music with some Prince, ZZ Top, Stevie Nicks, and more. But first, an update from the National Weather Service.
As for incidents around the areas, I'm nowcast meteorologist Jim Gordon. For today,
All right, and turn this off. See you later, guys.